Hello, happy 2026. I hope the new year is treating you well so far. I am about to turn 30 next month, and today's video is titled, I'm literally looking at my laptop, just right here. It's titled 20 Things I Would Tell My 20-year-old self if that were possible. It's crazy how quickly this decade has flown by. And honestly, it wasn't really until a little over 2 years ago that I really felt like I started to stabilize. For the majority of my 20s, I really struggled on a lot of different fronts, but the last 2 years have been pretty good to me, and I feel pretty solid where I'm at. I feel like my feet are quite solidly on the ground, if that is a good analogy. But anyways, if you are in your 20s, I don't know who this video will speak to or if it will resonate with anyone, but I drafted this video idea in October and then I ditched it. I didn't really feel like doing a video on it, but I figured, why not? So I have a list. First thing I would tell myself is, excuse me for cursing, but not knowing what the fuck you're doing is perfectly fine. We're all going through life by our best guess. Nobody's life path is the same. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, so go easy on yourself. Number 2, it's okay to have fun. When I was in my earlier 20s, and still now, I struggled with this a lot. I didn't let myself enjoy myself. I didn't party. I didn't really drink. I still don't really do that stuff, but you're allowed to enjoy yourself. And I was very judgmental of people who like to have fun when I was younger. And looking back, I just realized that was kind of stupid. So I would tell myself, and I still tell myself this, it's okay to have fun responsibly. Number 3, time flies. You're young, but the decisions you make are important. Before you know it, a decade will pass by and you'll have to face the consequences of your decisions. So I didn't make a lot of bad choices, I would say, when I was in my 20s, but there were a few key decisions that I made that really, really altered the course of my life in drastic ways. And I'm going to be kind of vague here. Maybe I'll unpack it later in a different video. But it took several years for me to kind of right the ship again, if that makes sense, to center myself because of a couple of big decisions that I made when I was in my early 20s that were kind of impulsive. This kind of relates to number 4. Pursuing something creative is fine. Just don't make it your whole identity. So again, I don't want to make this video super long, so I won't elaborate too much. But for a lot of my 20s, I was super focused on this idea of making it as a singer-songwriter, and that kind of became my whole identity for a while, which wasn't the best thing to do looking back. But I wasn't going to listen. And even if there was a part of me that knew, maybe this isn't the greatest idea. Sometimes you just have to go through things and experience them yourself to learn. People can't tell you. You just got to go through it. With that being said, number 5 is taking risks is valuable. So don't overlook the potential benefits of taking risks. Though maybe I would add taking calculated risks is beneficial, is good, can be good. So when I decided to kind of go after music, that was a big risk. It wasn't really a calculated risk. It was a very impulsive risk. And although my path was very messy for a long time, I did develop some unique skills from pursuing music, and I did come out of it a better musician, so it wasn't a complete waste, but yeah. Number 6, don't enter a relationship when you don't have your shit together. When are you really ready to be in a relationship? Does anybody have the answer to that? I don't know. But I know in my case, I entered a relationship in my early 20s, which was a bad idea looking back, and just caused, I think, some unnecessary suffering to both parties. could have been avoided, but you live and you learn. I wrote under this one that you're doing a disservice to yourself and the other person by engaging in a relationship when you can't take care of yourself. 7, step outside of your comfort zone. You hear a lot of people say it, but getting out of your comfort zone is a key to growth, and you'll be a better person because of it. Something I did that took me out of my comfort zone last year was joining a run club for about 7 months. Distance running is something that I'm not very good at, something I have tended to avoid in the past, and I was quite intimidated by being in a circle of people who enjoy distance running, but that was a huge growth step for me last year, for sure. 8, initiate conversations. Be curious about people. I think that connecting with others is the glue to life. It can be one of the most fulfilling experiences, so make an effort. 9, eat healthy. Cut out the bullshit in your diet. I would consider myself, for the most part, like, I guess for the most of my 20s, well, I was up and down for sure. It wasn't until the last year or so where I really got disciplined with my diet. I think when you're young, you can kind of get away with eating junk and yada, 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 because your metabolism's high, you're burning energy quicker, and you're young, right? But as I'm getting older, I realize that I can't really be doing that anymore, and I have to be disciplined, and it'll just hopefully make the quality of my life better as I age and get older. 10, move your body. Make exercise a priority and do it in the morning. So I think everybody needs to find their own rhythm when it comes to exercising, but for me personally, doing it in the morning, like almost right after waking up, has been my kind of go-to thing. Just getting something difficult done to start the day, I feel like is nice, because after work, usually I'm mentally just checked out and you just kind of want to go home. So move your body. All right, 11. This is something that I learned about in school, but was kind of reinforced at work because we teach it at work to our students. Growth mindset. Have a growth mindset, not a fixed one. I used to be cynical about this concept, but I think it's very important to adopt a growth mindset when it comes to things. Especially for me, I tend to get restless when things get too routine and things get stale. And I realized that I need to pursue a little bit of discomfort to grow. This isn't like all the time. I don't have to, like, every day, every week, do something that makes me feel that way, but I know for sure that this is necessary at least a few times a year, right? To do something that scares you a little bit. Some people say to do something that scares you every single day. I remember, I think on a Lululemon bag, there's a quote about that. If anybody actually does this, anybody actually does something scary every day and is watching this video, please tell me how it is working out for you. Okay, 12, I wrote, don't be such an asshole to your family. They're all going through their own stuff, just like you. Yeah, there have been a lot of times in my 20s where I've been a not so nice person to certain members of my family. And that was partially because I was also not in a great state. I guess my family struggled for quite a few years during my 20s, but it's definitely better to be a positive force instead of spreading your negativity around. So be kind to your family. 13, I wrote, reach out to your friends. Make an effort to stay connected, but understand that friendships come and go. Don't hold on too tight, but stay open and take initiative. It's kind of a sobering realization, as you get older and your circle of friends shrinks. But the beauty of one door closing is that another one usually opens. And this is what I've realized with friends. Like when certain friends fade out of the picture, as long as I'm kind of out and about and trying to be somewhat active socially, usually someone else will always come along. 14, don't feed the friendships that drain you. I think I'm pretty good about this, but I do, when I think about my 20s, and there are specific people that come to mind when it comes to this rule or whatever. And I remember just this person that would always kind of reach out to me to not trauma dump per se, but to almost not use me as a therapist, but I just felt like that was my role whenever he'd call. And I do enjoy listening to my friends and like being there for them, but sometimes you just go in circles and sometimes you outgrow your friends, and that's totally normal and okay. 15, work on being self-sufficient. my early 20s, or even my late teens when I was in high school going to college, I didn't have a good sense of long-term. I didn't have a good sense of where I'd be long-term. I didn't really do any long-term planning, or I think I was just scared to think about it, or my brain was not developed enough to tackle that at the time. I think my young, naive self just thought things would just work themselves out, but you really have to be intentional and challenge yourself to find your way and be independent and take care of yourself, pay your bills. For me, as someone who had a pretty comfortable upbringing, like materialistically speaking, it was difficult for me to find my independence and to be able to take care of myself. And now that I'm at a much better place when it comes to just independence, I realize that it's very empowering to like make your own decisions and to be able to be on your own in different ways. 16. You can't force a relationship to happen. It has to be two-sided. I wrote, you'll feel a strong attraction to many different women, but most of them won't be reciprocated. And don't take them all seriously either. Just because you feel a little flutter in your heart when you see someone pretty, that doesn't mean it means anything. 17. A lot of thoughts don't really serve you. This is something that has taken me a long time to learn. I think a lot. Some might say I overthink, and what I've realized is most of my thoughts aren't really productive. So I think what I would tell myself and what I would tell anyone else who deals with this is don't take them all so seriously. 18. Being depressed is real. I struggled with depression for a lot of my 20s. And I remember for the first half of my 20s, when I first kind of stumbled upon the darkness, I was a little bit dismissive of it. And I didn't necessarily take it seriously, or I didn't really want to think about how to handle it. Although depression is real, it's not a forever thing, and the experience will make you stronger, and you will learn lessons from it. And the important thing is that you don't repeat certain mistakes that got you there. So, because for me, my depression was related to some of my choices. It was related to like the environment I was in and all these things. But I don't know what I'm saying. But what I want to say to anyone listening is that you'll experience dark times, and you may think that when you're going through it, there's no way out, but there will come a day where you overcome them. And when you do, you realize that the strength was always inside of you. Okay, 19. College is not meant for everyone. I was in and out of school many times, and to be honest, if I could redo it, I would have done things a lot differently. There are alternatives out there. And I think what's more important is you learn to take responsibility for your decisions and learn to develop self-sufficiency. And if you're in school, I think you want to try and enjoy it, but you also want to be responsible and disciplined and not take it for granted. Last thing, this has been a messy video, but give yourself some grace. Life is not a race. Be nice to yourself. You're doing fine. We're all going to die. Enjoy yourself, work hard, be kind, and take on some challenges. There you have it. 20 things I would tell my 20-year-old self, or any 20-something. Thanks for bearing with me. Hope you found some of this video valuable. If not, oh well.